Diplomat Comedy Club. It's live from Burlington. Hickok and Boardman, United Way. Make some noise, everybody. Please welcome your host, Marlon Dixon.
Oh yeah! Good morning, everyone. I'm your host. Well, the hell do you say? Look. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. I'll be your MC for tonight. This morning. I've never done comedy at 9 o'clock in the morning. This is gonna be a lot of fun. So bear with me, okay? So bring that Monday morning energy with me for me tonight. So I'll be your MC today. I'm gonna start you off with a little warm up. Like I said, this is an SNL themed week, right? For all of you. And I'm gonna get warmed up here. So let's do some comedy. You ready to laugh? Yeah. All right. So my name is Marlon. That's what I introduce myself to people as, Marlon. Most times when I meet a white person, I say, hi, my name is Marlon. And then during the conversation, they forget my name. And they're like, I can see their thought process happening. Like, oh man, I know his name starts with an M. And when the conversation ends, they say, see you later, Malcolm. And so that happens a lot to me all the time. So just to remind you, my name is Marlon, okay? So I am a combat veteran. Anybody else in the room veteran status? No? All right, cool, all right. Thank you for your service. Spent a lot of time, spent about a year deployed in Afghanistan, and what soldiers like to do is we like to share things to keep our morale up, right? So we share music and TV shows and movies. And the way we shared those things was through a hard drive. But on those hard drives, there was one particular folder called training videos, okay? And on those training videos, oh, the baby just rolled in. And those, maybe I should not tell this one yet. No, it's Monday, we're gonna tell this one. So on those training videos, Army is porn. I remember walking into my tent that was meant to sleep 14 people, and there were 40 of us in the tent, and I'd walk in and everyone had their laptops open watching these training videos, and the tent would be vibrating sometimes, and I would lay down in my little cot with the guy next to me just sort of watching his training videos. I wouldn't do it in the tent. I would go to the bunker with my M16 stuck over my shoulder, do my thing. But the reason why I tell you that is that when you meet a veteran, don't ask them the question. Ask them, where they spent their time for self-gratification. That they'll get some pretty crazy answers there. So after my stint in the military, I'm from Brooklyn, New York originally. I decided to move back to the States. And I chose Vermont, and my friend was like, come to Vermont. So I did a little research. Why do I move to Vermont? So Green Mountains, beautiful Lake Champlain, farm to table this and that. But I didn't move here for any of those reasons. I moved here because I love white women. Good morning to you. What's your name? Kate. Man, there's so many of you here tonight. What up, Kate? Katie, Kate. No, okay. Catherine. But since I've been here, I feel like I'm starting to lose my blackness, right? Like, I know the science behind maple sugaring, 40-1. I carry Vermont maple syrup wherever I go. My credit score is a 849. Mm-hmm. You realtors out there, yep, I'm looking to buy a house with that credit score, so just so you know. Every sock in my sock drawer is a darn tough sock that I buy at the sock sale. I don't buy them at Lenny's. I get them at the sock sale because, And I spend my weekends hanging out at Subaru dealerships just to hang out. Yes, I do. Found a lot of time. Obviously, I've been here for several years now. I got a job. I work with a lot of white kids. What I learned about working with white kids is that they're allergic to everything. Dairy, gluten, black people. There's just this whole smorgasbord of things that they're allergic to. Oh man, this is a Monday morning. This is crazy to me. This is Monday. Like I just dropped my kids off at school, and here I am, like telling you about these things. Okay. But I feel like being here in Vermont, like most people who look like me, I'm like an imaginary creature, right? Like I'm on the same level as Champ. Like Champ is more real than I am. You know what I mean? I find myself sometimes when I'm walking down the street, like I love Vermonters because we're progressive. We like to teach our kids about different cultures and all this other stuff. And I know that parents at night are reading their kids books like, oh, here's, this is what happens in Asia and this is Africa. And when I'm walking down the street sometimes, I see a kid, they see me, we lock eyes, and that kid's walking down the street staring at me like, and in their mind they're like, holy shit, they are real. And I just go, booga, booga, booga. I thought it was going to be hard to remember your name, Kate, but it's obviously pretty easy. I found a white woman, and we started a family, have a baby, we had babies, and I remember being in a labor delivery room, specifically, where I was trying to be a supportive partner. You got this, breathe, don't squeeze my hand too hard, you got this, breathe, and then boom, my son pops out. I look at my son, I look at the doctors, I look back at my son, and I'm like, he's fucking white? And I'm like, but then I changed his first diaper. And that's a black baby. All right. This is where we do audience participation now, because you all laughed at that joke. What's your name, ma'am? Dora. Why'd you laugh at that joke? Because penises are funny. That's great. That's awesome. Usually when I ask people in the audience, they're just too shy they don't want to say penis. Thank you, I appreciate you answering. Most people just pretend like they don't know what's happening, right? Like I've had people in the audience just sign things to me. Like one guy was like, I'm like, sir, I don't know what that means. I even had someone say big shits. That black babies just make big shits. Thank you so much. I love that. I love the fact that you were just so open to all of your coworkers and teammates about that. How many parents in the room? Parents? Yeah, that's great. So I have 2 biracial children. I love my kids. We do a lot of play groups. We got a lot of play dates with friends. And there are some times when my kids are running off with their friends and the other parent sit next to me. And that parent will turn to me and go, Marlon? I love your kids. And I never know how to respond to that. Because I obviously love my kids too. But I can't stand their fucking kids. You know what I'm talking about? There's a lot of parents in the room, right? You know what I'm talking about? Like, you can't stand some of your friends, your kids' friends. Like, why are you hanging out with that kid? Like, don't. Why are you hanging out with that kid? Like, they're like other kids in my, like, compared to my kids, they're like zeros. You know what I mean? Just a big fat nothing. Like, just. But I'm a good parent, and I say, you can hang out with whoever you want to hang out with. They just suck. Any vegan, yeah, so true, right? So true. Because you go, this is relatable. I mean, I just have some, I'm like, you suck. But I can't say it to a 5-year-old, you know what I mean? But I have a list for when they're 18. Nice list. I have a list, actually there's one kid on my list that I have for poking my oldest son in the eye with a fork when they were 2 years old. So I'm just waiting for Jonathan to turn 18. I'm gonna punch him right in the throat. Scarred my kid for life. No. Any vegans and vegetarians in the room? Dora, of course. Now I see why penises are funny to you, Dora. Well, buckle up for this one, okay? A friend of mine, we do a annual meat share. So sometimes we'll share a pig or a cow or something like that. A couple of years ago, we decided to split a goat, and we went to a local goat farm, and we thought we'd just show up, and they say, hey, we want to go, give us like half of whatever. But nope, we decided to bring our kids. It's a goat farm. There's like little baby goats, and there's teenage goats, and there's adult goats, and my kids and I were just skipping around, like giving the goats names like Bobby and Billy goats, and so we're just doing that thing, and we picked the goat. And so what we learned with Google is during COVID, so you have to figure out how to, what kind of goat to choose. And most goats, you want them to be healthy, so no snotty nose or anything like that. But we choose a goat, and the people go and they grab the goat, and they grab the goat, and they wrap a rope around its neck, and they go, no! They're dragging the goat to slaughter. No! Leave me alone! Don't take me! And all the goats are like, oh man, Billy is fucked. While this is happening, I'm realizing that I haven't talked to my kids about animal sacrifice yet, right? They don't know where meat comes from. They think that chicken comes out of a green bag in a freezer, right? You know what I mean? So while this is happening, my kids are staring, and I'm like, oh no! And the sun the sky's open, and the sun shines down, and all I can hear in the background is, Him-a-nama, 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 the circle of life, right? So as that's happening, there's a guy in the slaughterhouse behind me, and he turns to me, he goes, hey, you want to do this? He's holding up a device like this. Ready, obviously, and as I say, no, man, and as I'm turning around back to my kids in slow motion, he can see now. He can see what's about to happen, and then, boom, the goat just drops. And the guy reaches down and slices the goat's neck. You all right, Dora? And then they hang the goat, and the goat bleed out, and as they start to remove the hide, my oldest son is standing there, eyes wide open. And he's like, starts jumping up and down and goes, I can't wait to see the guts. And it was at that moment I realized that I was raising a psychopath with a big penis. Dora, that's it. Thank you so much. That's my routine for you. We all just made history right there. That's the earliest I've ever done a show with a baby in the room. You loved it! You loved it! Yeah, you did! So, thank you for all being here. We're going to keep this show rolling. I'm going to bring up your United Way Hickok and Boardman committee members. Join me on stage. We have one mic. I got Allison, Katie, Kara, Kate, Linda, and Nihad. Come join me. Give it a hand.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for coming and taking this time out of your Monday morning. We really appreciate it. I am here just to talk a little bit about the pledges that we're kicking off today, as well as go over some updates for later this week. But first, I want to introduce all of our wonderful committee members that are up here with me on stage. If you're not sure who I am, my name is Linda Nama. I work in Hickok and Boardman Insurance Group. And I am here with Kate Gleason, who's in our real estate. Followed by Nihad Basic, who is in our capital management division. And we have Katie Wells, who's here also from real estate. And unfortunately, we are missing one crucial member to our team today, Allison Rogers, who's also in our capital management division. So let's give a big round of applause for her. And a special shout out to Kara Mkhitaryan, who is not able to make it with us today, but she is still a big part of our team. So we want to show a lot of applause for Kara, who's helping us. All right, so some of you may have noticed that there are some QR codes on the tables in front of you. These are directly linked to the e-pledge forms through United Way, northwest of Vermont. So at about 10 a.m. today, you will receive an email from United Way to kick off our pledges. However, that link is good starting now, so feel free if you want to put in an e-pledge and you want to get a head start on that, you're more than welcome to scan it. Just use your iPhone, your Android, pull up your camera app and click the link to follow it. And it looks like up next, oh, actually I wanted to mention one more thing. So for tomorrow, we are having our big rerun playlist where we're gonna all gather in our necessary offices. And we are going to be watching some reruns of our favorite SNL skits over the years. And we ordered some popcorn from Green Mountain Kettle Corn. And I am looking for, not right now, I know everyone's gonna jump at this, I am looking for a few volunteers from our H&B Insurance outer offices to just find me at some point after the show today to volunteer to bring that popcorn back with you to your office. So if you're willing to help out and bring that popcorn back, please find me. I'll jot down your name and I'll make sure you have everything you need. All right, and I think up next I'm gonna toss this mic right back to Marlon and he's gonna introduce our next speakers. Thank you.
Keep it going, committee. We worked hard for this. I'm just gonna be introducing speakers, which is a lot of fun. I mean, the only thing I have to do is not butcher your name. So coming up to the stage now, the president of the insurance division. Let me make sure I got that right. Yep. The president of the insurance division, Paul Pumpkin.
Thank you, Malcolm. Good morning, everyone. For those of you that don't know me, I am Paul Plunkett, President and CEO of the Insurance Division of Hickok and Boardman. Thank you for being here today. You guys having a good time? Yeah, this is one of the best. I mean, this is pretty fun. So I just wanted to thank the H&B United Way team for their dedication and work on a tremendous campaign. Certainly we're off to a good start. It is like holding a wedding each year, so it's a very big deal. And thank you to the United Way as well. Our firm has been associated with the United Way for more than 70 years, back when it was called Community Chest. And so it's an important fabric of our company, and it's part of our mission and values. And we're really excited to be kicking off this fundraising season for the United Way. We're here to support 5 initiatives that the United Way is focused on in our communities. And it is supporting families, reduce substance misuse, promoting mental health, fostering financial stability, and meeting basic needs. So these are important elements of what happens in our communities. It doesn't just happen, it happens through leadership from the United Way, and it happens from leadership in companies and individuals in our communities supporting the United Way. So I hope you have a great week this week. Really enjoy all that we've put together, but please think about the support of the United Way, and whatever you can do is very much appreciated and valuable to the United Way. We'll be announcing the goal for this campaign later on in the program. And again, thank you for being here. Thank you for your support. I will not be saying penis or some of the other words. So it's back to Malcolm.
Thank you, Paul. See, now what's going to happen is everyone's going to just, I know it's the joke, but everyone's just going to think Malcolm the whole time. Oh man, let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. Vice President of Operations and Insurance, coming to the stage now is Jay Nunn.
Thanks for stealing my joke, Paul. Come on. Well, you're not the only joke teller here, all right? What kind of cheese is it yours? Nacho cheese, that's right. All right. Hey, good to see everyone here today. We're going to have a great week. I got to say, this is one of the best. This kickoff is awesome. What a great venue. Thanks to the Comedy Club and all the committee for all the work that you did. We've got a lot of new faces. I know just solely on our side, we've got 24 new hires since the beginning of the year. So we've got a lot of folks who haven't been through the campaign. So just to kind of let you know what we've done over the course of the history of our campaigns. Since the start, which was around the 1980s, which it goes beyond that, but since we started tracking, we've raised over $2.5 million for our communities. So really incredible. You all at 10 o'clock, so just a couple minutes ago, got an email to pledge, so your e-pledge. So make sure you check out your email, donate early. Jump right on it. It's super easy, and in terms of, we want everyone's participation, whether you can give, $5 up to whatever you can give. It makes a huge difference in our community. So even a donation of $3 per paycheck, you can do it starting next year. per paycheck deduction, $3 a paycheck equates to $72 for a year. And the United Way, for every dollar we raise, the support in the community is greater than $3 per each dollar raised. So, yep, that's right, Jay. So, please get on it early. We appreciate your support. Have fun coming together this week, and go United Way.
Thank you, Jay. You're up. Keep it going. For your next speaker, President of the Insurance Division, Leslie McKinsey. Woo! Please slow it down.
President of the Real Estate Division,
That's what it's gonna say.
Marlon.
No, real estate. I'm sorry. It's 9 o'clock.
No worries. And I have to say, I know your name is Marlon, because Marlon and I actually sat on a board together back in, 2018. I've known you for years. And you did not tell any of those stories at the board table. That was not at all what I was expecting. I knew he was an awesome guy, but that was not the jokes I was expecting. This is awesome to see you all here. I'm so glad we're all together for this campaign. It makes such a tremendous difference in the community. Of course, being in real estate, we know that home matters. And home matters whether you live in an apartment, whether you live in a condo, a house, whatever town and community you live in here in Chittenden, Northwest Vermont, or throughout Vermont. And we believe this is such a tremendous way that we can all make a difference for our community. So as you heard echoed between Jay and Paul, the work here will ripple out into the community. It's a way we can all meet our passions. There's so many different ways that the United Way is helping, whether it's about education, food, security, safety, health. And so I think it speaks to everyone. I know all of you are dedicated to our communities day in, day out, but this is a way that we can do it together and make an enormous difference. So looking forward to an incredible week. I thank the committee as well. They've done an unbelievable job. And here's having a lot of fun this week.
Real estate division. I love to keep things moving because I know what it feels like to sit down. So coming up to the stage, Michael McCormick.
Thank you, Marvin. I was told that I was coming up here to talk about Hickok and Boardman Capital Management, let everybody know what we do. So that's what I was hired to do here. But I had an interesting experience recently. It was about a year ago. I was on my couch and the doorbell rang, and I wasn't expecting anybody. And I walked over the door. I opened it, and I didn't see anybody. But I looked down, and there was a snail. So I kicked it off the porch over the bushes other side of the road. Would you believe it or not? Last night, I was on my couch. I was sitting there. Doorbell rings. I go over. I look down. There's that same stupid snail. He looked at me and said, "What was that for?" You can use that one if you want. I'm Michael McCormick, along with two others. We own and operate and manage the Hickok and Boardman Capital Management. And as I said, I thought I was supposed to tell you about us. I thought that's what everybody else was doing. So that's all I'm prepared to do. Just out of curiosity, if you raise your hand if you have ever bought or sold a house with Hickok and Boardman Real Estate. Excellent, excellent. Raise your hand if you get your insurance through Hickok and Boardman Insurance. Great. Raise your hand if you are a client of Hickok and Boardman Capital Management. Got a few there. So I would love that to change over time. I'd love you guys to put yourself out there and talk about what we do for our community. We manage $1 billion. There's 11 of us upstairs. We are predominantly financial planners. We manage money for clients as well. So as you go throughout your travels, that would be something great to keep in mind. In addition, we have been involved in United Way throughout the entire course of us being there, and I've been there for 24 years, I think. In addition to that, we went a step further, and we actually created our own charitable endowment fund that we funded maybe 5 or 6 years, or maybe 3 or 4 years ago at this point. So as we grow our business, we're doing that as a way to also give back to the community, not just through United Way, but as another thing. So anyway, that's it. Would love to hear from you guys, and best of luck, Marvin.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to deviate from the script. Is that okay? All right. So my full-time job is I work in fundraising. So I took the morning off to skip my fundraiser meeting because I want to do a big part of this community, do another fundraising event. So I'm going to challenge all of you in this room. Like you said, it's going to be $3 per paycheck, whatever you feel like. But I'm going to challenge you all in this room to 100% donation from everyone in this room today. You don't even have to pledge, right? Today. So that's it. That's my deviation. Ready? All right. And then I'll you.
Northwest Vermont, bringing people together to make our communities stronger. The time is now to focus on mental health for all. We all have times when we need help and times when we can help. Together, we can support each other and find solutions. We're working with government, businesses, nonprofits, and community members like you to strengthen mental health resources for ourselves and our neighbors. Help make change possible at UnitedWayNWVT.org.
All right, coming to the stage, the CEO of the United Way. Put your hands together for Jesse Bridges, everyone.
Thank you. Good to see everybody. This is my 7th Hickok and Boardman campaign, which is kind of amazing. We have been in the big tent. We've had the circus. We have done the all virtual. We want to forget that, right? That was tough times, all huddled in the conference room, about 5 of us, while we broadcast live to everybody and all over the place. And the thing that really resonates for me about Hickok and Boardman is, as big as you are as a company, the family aspect of what you bring each day to work, the care you have for your coworkers, the care you have for your community, is really unrivaled. The energy that you put into this week is what jettisons us into our fundraising for the entire year. And it's always a marker for us at United Way. I learned that day 1, Jet was on my board and said, this is going to be a lot of fun. You got to get in there, and you got to tell them for every dollar you raise, we put $17 back into the community. I said, that's some interesting math. Invest your money here. But it's true, the multiplier effect of what you do and what we do is really amazing. It's taking our community power, right, amplifying it out and allowing others to be successful, allowing our community to be successful because we are stepping up. We all have a role to play in making community better. We all have an opportunity to step up, whether that's volunteering, advocating for something we care about, or what this week is about, giving back. Because when we step up together, we are able to achieve so much more. United Way is about this notion that no single organization or individual can do these things on their own. That it does take all of us pulling in the same direction to make that possible. That we achieve so much more when we work together. The hospital can't on its own keep us healthy. Right now, there's probably 50 people at the hospital that are ready to be discharged into the community, and they can't. It's not because they're too sick. It's not because they haven't received excellent health care. It's because there's no housing. When you start to pull the thread on what actually kind of connects us all, you really do see that it's not one issue. So when we talk about the 5 issues that Paul did an excellent job of remembering, Paul, I've been here for 7 years and people still hand me a piece of paper to remember. It's about all of those things being interconnected. When we talk about reducing substance misuse, we're talking about supporting families. When we're talking about mental health, we're talking about housing. All of those things have a role to play together. And what United Way does is take that position that we exist at this intersection of government, nonprofit, business, and community. We exist at the intersection of financial stability and supporting families and reducing substance misuse and supporting mental health and meeting basic needs, housing, transportation, food. And at that intersection, that's where we can make change happen, and that's where we can make things possible. We have a lot of really exciting things coming up in the year ahead. We're particularly focused on a number of these key areas. Financial stability through our Working Bridges program continues to be a high priority for us. Maintaining the nonprofit social network, safety network throughout the state through Common Good remains a priority for us. We are running the prevention network for substance misuse for the entire region and Washington County now, actually. And it's because we have that unique position. We're able to sit there. It used to be as a neutral convener. And we've stopped kind of using the word neutral because neutral implies we don't have a stake in the outcome. By far and away, we have a big stake in the outcome. Neutral might mean we don't have an opinion of what that outcome should look like. We have an opinion. But we are able to sit there and bring partners together in very unique ways. And we can't do that. We can't be at that intersection. We can't amplify those dollars without your support, without all of you stepping up and making it possible. So you're going to hear a little bit more about what we're doing around mental health. Mental health is the issue coming out of the pandemic that I think has touched everyone. The issues that we're seeing post-pandemic are not just exclusive to people that are struggling economically. These are not just socioeconomic issues. Everybody has seen what's going on for our kids in the schools. Show parents in the room, right? The impact to those years of lack of social connection and being stuck at home with me. I just moved. I'm not just a fan, I'm also a client. Hickok and Boardman, thank you for helping me move. I have 2 teenage girls and I had 1 bathroom. Terry gasped. But it is, you could just see the strain on our kids over these last years. And you see it in their friends, and you see it in their classmates, and you hear it in the stories. And it's not just about COVID, right? It's not just about their mental health. It's about what are the other assets and things. What has come and what has gone away? What has been taken? A lot of kids that went off to college, that spent their high school years during COVID, go off to college and, oh, everything's open back up. All of a sudden you've thrown this young adult into that atmosphere. We have to be there for them. So we're looking to you to help step up and help keep us going. You're doing the next intro?
You're doing the intro.
I'm doing the intro.
Yeah.
That's what it says. All right. So what are we going to do about it? What are we going to do about mental health? So I'm going to invite up my colleague, also a parent. Stephen Berbecco is the director of our mental health initiative, which is working to bring together all of our partners across the region and across the state to help address what is a mental health crisis, not just in our schools, but in our offices, in our homes, and in our community. So, Stephen.
Thanks, Jesse. Good morning. Hi, I'm Stephen Berbecco. It's good to see familiar faces here. As you can tell from my fingernails, I'm the father of 2 elementary school children. I could go a solid hour on dad jokes. In addition to that, I'm also director of the Mental Health Initiative, and I provide counseling services for staff and students at an elementary school. And I have to tell you, the Mental Health Initiative is very different now than it would have been 10 years ago. 10 years ago, mental health was a priority of United Way, absolutely. But 10 years ago, a mental health initiative would have been a small group of direct care providers and some Vermonters with lived experience, and we would have come together and come up with a project, and then done the project, and okay, we're done. But today, Today, things are really different. Coming out of the pandemic today, the system of mental health care is much bigger, much wider than it was 10 years ago. Today, it's not just the designated agencies like Howard Center and private therapists. Today, it actively includes schools, early childhood education, higher education. It actively includes housing, transportation, the recovery community. It actively includes local government in a way that it hadn't before, state government in a way that it hadn't before, civic groups like United Way, and religious groups. Today, libraries are part of the mental health system of care. And that's why the Mental Health Initiative is more than 10 people together in a room. It's more than 20, more than 30. We have brought together close to 200 Vermonters from Northwest Vermont and across the state who reflect the diversity of those sectors. From about 200 different organizations, from schools, early childhood ed, higher ed, recovery, transportation, housing. We have some librarians. Because, as Jesse said, if we're going to make things better for ourselves, for our kids, for our neighbors, our friends, our family members, our colleagues, then we all have to pull in the same direction, all of us. Here's an example of the way the system isn't working well. It's no secret that youth mental health is a serious issue. It's a crisis issue. It's on the radar of the US Surgeon General. Schools have been the epicenter of this. They've had the benefit of school counselors and school-based clinicians for a number of years, but that isn't enough, not for what they're seeing. I talked to a superintendent recently who told me that she had a child who was eating light bulbs. And she really desperately needed a residential placement for that child. But what they're saying is that it's easier to get your kid into Harvard Medical School than to get a placement in a residential treatment center in Vermont. And she had difficulty even finding a placement outside of Vermont. So what she did, what a lot of school leaders are doing, and I don't fault them for this, in that position I bet I would do the same thing. What she did was she hired mental health professionals onto staff. This is happening in a lot of schools in Vermont. A lot of schools. There was recent federal funding that flowed into our public schools during and after the pandemic. And a lot of schools are making that choice to hire mental health professionals. But here's the thing. Where are those mental health professionals going to come from? It's not like people can move to Vermont, find a place to stay, and start working. What ends up happening is those mental health professionals leave a job with a community mental health agency to go work at a school. And then there's another vacancy in our community mental health agencies. And things become harder for our neighbors, our friends, our community members, our colleagues, for you, for me. That's a way the system isn't working because we're not working together. We're not all pulling in the same direction. In the Mental Health Initiative, we're working to find projects to change the system of how we're doing mental health. Yes, we need more mental health providers. Yes, if 200 mental health professionals parachuted into Vermont, that would help us. But if they did, there'd be nowhere for them to stay. So instead, we're developing projects to do things differently. Here's an example of a project happening right now at a school in Burlington. We're supporting the, I was gonna say development, but it's actually in place. We're supporting a therapy pod at an elementary and middle school in Burlington, which provides therapeutic space. Because a lot of people don't know this, that in Burlington public schools, there's only one school that has dedicated therapeutic space for a mental health professional to meet with a kid. Otherwise, they're meeting in a hallway, in the auditorium, in a broom closet. And Burlington's not unique. Across Vermont, schools have this problem. They weren't built to come out of the pandemic. They were built to teach kids. They weren't built with therapeutic space. Across Vermont, school after school is struggling to find space for mental health professionals to meet with kids. And so this project is actually pretty cheap and easy to do. There's now a pod, kind of, if you can picture it like a Mamava pod, but more boxy, where mental health professionals can meet with kids. Where there's now more space where there was none, where there's more access to services where there were barriers before. Here's another example of a project that we're working on, we're doing right now. Mental Health First Aid is a great program. It's like first aid in that it teaches participants to recognize and respond to symptoms of mental illness and substance use disorder. It doesn't train people to be therapists. It helps us support each other and become a protective factor for each other. It's great. It's a great program. It's a national program. It's been around for a long time. Vermont has trainers. We used to have more trainers, but during the pandemic, we lost about half of them because of circumstances. So the Mental Health Initiative, what we did was we sent word out to our 200 or so participants and said, who wants to become a trainer in mental health first aid? And we're looking for people who aren't working in those community mental health agencies. We're looking for people who are doing other things, maybe like some of you. And here's why. Mental Health First Aid is an 8-hour workshop. When someone trains in mental health first aid, when someone stands up and does that training, that means they're not available for 8 hours. Our community mental health agencies need those people meeting with our community members. So instead, we put the call out and we got participants from the Vermont Principals Association, we got a participant from law enforcement, got a participant from United Way. And that's a way of solving the problem by coming together and pulling in the same direction. And we're not done. There is so much more to do. And I invite you to join us. I invite you to join one of our projects, to be an active part of it, or just add your expertise. We're at 200 people now, but we need more. We need more of us coming together, pulling in the same direction, solving these problems in the mental health system of care. The last thing I'm going to say, and I say this anytime I'm with a large group because it needs to be said. There is a resource in Vermont that a lot of people aren't aware of. It's called 988. It's like 911. You dial 911, you get emergency services. 988 is something you can dial and reach a mental health professional 24/7. You can call, you can even text. And that person that you reach is in Vermont. Now, this originally started as part of the National Suicide Crisis Helpline, but today it's for anyone who's experiencing a mental health crisis. Whether it's you, or the person next to you, or a family member, or a colleague. 988. Please, if you don't take anything else from today, aside from pledging, please remember 988. Thank you all very much. I hope you have a fantastic week.
I think we have a short video following Steve. Is that? Just checking, hold on.
My name is Erica McLaughlin, and I'm the Assistant Executive Director of the Vermont Principals Association, and I am part of the United Way's Mental Health Initiative. I have the privilege of supporting principals across the state And so I get to hear every week when I meet with principals what's happening for them and what's happening in their communities. And it's a similar story across the state of more children and more families are under stress, more staff are under stress, and I gladly volunteered to be a part of the mental health initiative because I thought about it as an opportunity to brainstorm and work with other stakeholders in Vermont to really put our heads together to find ways that we might be able to increase supports for staff, students, and clinicians.
So the Mental Health Initiative is bringing all of these organizations together at the table with the sole goal of trying to find solutions so that we can decrease the gaps and increase the access to people when they need it, when they're struggling with a mental health challenge. The Mental Health Initiative has really boiled everything down to 3 categories that are critically important. First of all, there is the workforce shortage. Secondly, it's youth mental health. And third is suicide prevention.
I'm hearing more and more principals talk about even our youngest children with suicidal ideation, and then children not having a place to go for support, and some sitting in the emergency rooms for weeks at a time waiting for the supports that they need. And parents are feeling desperate to get those supports for their children. And so we're seeing a larger number of people leaving the profession, not just the education profession, but also the mental health clinicians are also leaving because the job is almost undoable or untenable. There's just so much need. That said, I also still hear a lot of hope from people that are connecting with other educators and other agencies to bring resources together. And there's hope because a lot more people are talking about the need for mental health supports within schools and for staff, not just for children. And those conversations weren't happening before. Schools are the one place that kids have to be. And because of that, sometimes they're looked at to do everything. And schools can't do everything. I think it's important to recognize that we are an ecosystem in our communities and we need each other. I think the United Way initiatives are a good model because it's bringing multiple perspectives together for us all to have some skin in the game and for us all to sort of sort out how we can better meet the needs of our communities. I wish we were in a scenario where we just talked about health, that it wasn't physical health versus mental health, it was just the whole health of an individual that matters. And perhaps one day we'll get there. But until then, there needs to be multiple voices that are articulating that there's a need to focus on mental health.
Silence. Well, sometimes silence is good, right? We just sit there for a second. I think silence is okay. All right. I guess my personal experience is before I get into the world of fundraising, I also worked in the mental health field, which can be hard sometimes. I'm not one of those people who left because what Steven said, I left for to use my skills in other ways, which you all can. That experience, that personal experience, experience you bring, talking to clients, it can go a long way in doing the mental health first aid stuff. So I know that work is very important, especially when you're not living it every day as a provider. So consider it. Consider doing jumping into that mental health first aid. It's really important work. I use it every day with my students. Even though I'm in fundraising, I also work in a school, and I use it to help students who are stressed out about applying to colleges and so on and so forth. So we'll keep this show going. So in the theme of Saturday Night Live, you all prepared some skits to share with each other. The first skit we have is from the insurance division, and enjoy.
It's you Maria Nama, Rachel Caltagirone, Will Karen, Rita Carlisle, featuring Greg Williams, musical guest, Marisha, ladies and gentlemen, Greg Williams.
From studio, basement floor, conference room, Burlington, it's Weekend Update with Phoebe Greenfield and Mickey Westford.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Mickey Westford.
And I'm Phoebe Greenfield.
And welcome to Weekend Update. Let's go! Searching continues tonight as H&B searches for the Phantom Pier. Despite emails and signs, the culprit has not been located or stopped. Investigators may have some evidence to go on based on a partial shoe print of pee, but forensics are still pending.
Actually, we have a live feed of Linda coming in now.
Linda!
Let's cut to Linda. Linda?
Thanks, Freebie. I'm here right outside the scene of the crime reporting out on our infamous Phantom Pier. Let's take an inside look at the crime scene. Thanks to an eyewitness, we received a video submission of the Phantom Pier in action. Police worked with the eyewitness to develop a facial composite seen here. Back to you, Mickey and Freebie. Thanks.
Jeez, scary times, everyone. Those are very specific features, though, so keep a lookout. Meantime, role assessments continue to take place in commercial lines with terrific progress being made. The next meeting is scheduled for Monday, September 28th. Actually, scratch that, Wednesday, October 8th. Actually cancel that, Tuesday, November 7th. Okay, new update coming in. Maybe just plan on that one being canceled too. Meeting date to be determined.
I thought that was only me. You too?
Let's cut to our weather person, Rachel.
Live on the weather cam, it's 71 degrees, and you can expect it to be sunny this afternoon between 4:01 and 4:02 p.m.
Any rain at all today, Rachel?
We are expecting small amounts of rain in the meantime.
How much rain do you think we'll be expecting today?
No more than 1 inch of precipitation by noon. Things have let up. According to the Farmer's Almanac, the weather patterns should be changing for the better soon. Back to you.
Now we'd like to welcome special contributor Jeannie Houghton to give us a rundown on events planned for the remainder of the year. Jeannie?
Well, thanks, Mickey and Freebie. I'm so excited to be here. Well, first of all, we have our United Way campaign coming up next week, which is so exciting. And don't forget about National Key Lime Pie Day, which is Tuesday, September 26th.
And now let's go over to Will and Linda for the H&B 411 in 3-0.
Thanks, everyone. I'm here live at H&B Place, where we're going to take a look at some live footage from our St. Albans office. Let's take a peek at this together. Up next, we have a quick update from our recent retirees to take a peek into what their retirement has looked like this past year. Let's go live with...
I'm kind of worried they weren't available for any comment.
Well, what do you mean they're not available? Well, okay, then our retirees would like us to know that they have no comment. Let's go to Will for a quick update on our market this year.
Thanks, Linda. Our market has been this year, well, what's the word I'm looking for? Hard? I mean, let's just take an inside look at some of our employees who have been trying to cope with the hard market's increased rates with inflation.
Seems like they got out of the industry just in time. Back to you at the stage.
Now we welcome special guest Greg Williams to provide his latest ACRA vision on our ACRA world. Greg?
Thank you for the opportunity to chat about this today. I really appreciate it. Yeah.
Hold on a second, Greg. We've got some alarms going on over here.
We might. Greg, can you hear us? We just can't hear you. We might have to connect with you later. They're testing these alarms again.
Oh my goodness. Wait, what?
Thanks for coming out, Greg.
Thank you.
We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you. Fire stopped.
Thanks for your patience with that fire alarm. Let's see if we can check back one last time with our special contributor, Jeannie.
Live from Burlington, it's United Way.
That was amazing. Let's keep it going with the real estate division skit.
Good luck with that open house today.
I will sell this house today.
All I want to know is why hasn't my house sold yet? What are you not doing? Do I need to do your job for you? Should I hire you right?
Cookies! Oh no. I will sell this house today. I will sell this house today.
I will sell this house!
More energy! More energy! I need to sell this house today. I will sell this house today. You're gonna love this house. There's lots of light, open floor plan, lots of possibilities for the executive buyer. And it has a beautiful first floor bedroom and a walk-in closet. What do you think?
It's great.
Well, I really like the house, but I do have a couple of questions before we decide to go forward. Do you know anything about the soils out here? Have they been tested? What do they use on the grass? Are there any chemicals used on the lawn maintenance? Are there any restrictions on dogs? How about breed size? Or size of dog? No, I don't have a dog. I'm actually allergic. I was just wondering if I could put up a fence.
You guys, slow down. Wow, your kids are great. So the wonderful thing about this house is that easy open floor plan. Hi again. I just have a couple more questions. Open house is over. Sorry, no. No. Have they tested it for radon? I just have a couple more questions. Live from Burlington, it's Saturday night.
Saturday Night Live with Ryan Boardman. More of both. Yulan Zubior. Will Hurt. Julie Lamoureux. Huey Higgins Painter, Roland Painter, and Jackson Elliott.
Oh my gosh, this is unbelievable. We are totally gonna win this Saturday Night Live skit competition. And if not, I've got my trusty checkbook. I am not above buying votes so that we can win.
Wondering if there are any other chickens in the neighborhood.
Leslie, do I have to do the whole lot? Leslie?
Do we have a neighborhood of chickens? I really like fresh eggs.
I will sell this house!
Are there chickens allowed? Are there any cats in the neighborhood?
Right! About that raise.
I'd like to see a video of that.
Leslie!
And finally, we have the HR Intelligence Division.
Welcome to the WUHNB Weekend Update, live from Hickok and Boardman Place. I am Sally McKenzie, and
Sean King.
here on the desk I have Sean King joining me tonight. We've got a lot of news to cover on today's update, so let's get right into it. First up is a warning to the community to be on the lookout for these top 11 most wanted. Sightings in the area are expected to increase starting the week of September the 18th. For those faces that may be unfamiliar, please be sure to take great care and offer a warm H&B welcome back when you come across one of these most wanted colleagues.
For tonight's community health segment, our I Shit You Not reporter, Bill Allen, is coming to us live. Whoa, what's this? Goodness, this is breaking news. What we got? It appears that the Pulitzer Prize is added a new category this year. Awkward HR missives and communiques. And our very own Kate Emmert is the first winner ever in this category for her work, which was titled, for the purpose of her entry, Holy Shit, didn't these people's parents teach them how to pee? Congratulations, Kate, well deserved.
Sean and Sally, happy to be here, and I continue to shit you not as I go through my day. As we've discussed many times in the past, the way of the boomer is fast fading. Us boomers aren't necessarily needed, but I think this situation with the mad pisser is a situation where only boomer logic and boomer sense is gonna win the day. Now, just like you, Sally, when the message first came out, my first thought was, it's gotta be Tom Rudd, right? I mean, just look at the look of the toilet. Mess there. But it would not be I Shit You Not news without checking the facts. So when I confronted Tom about his urination on the toilet seat, shortly after he'd had a few drinks one morning, he told me, Bill, I didn't even know that standing up was an option. How the heck was I going to be on the toilet seat? And it just sounded like truth to this grizzled old reporter. So I started looking at other employees. I started looking at the UPS driver. I looked at the lawyers upstairs. I considered all manner of people that might be sullying our bathroom. Then one night I was watching Jeopardy. I just love Jeopardy. Even since Alex Trebek died, I love Jeopardy. And I was soaking my feet and it came to me. What was I missing? I was missing an entire gender. I was only looking at men as these culprits. So I started doing some research on the dark web late at night. And I found out that there's a couple of groups called the Straddlers and the Hoverers. These are women who are so appalled at the idea of touching a toilet seat that they won't do it in public. Could the mad sure be a woman. So I went to Sally to get some confirmation on my man pisses on the toilet seat bias, and she confirmed those women do exist. And Sally, I know it was hard to out your gender, and only a woman whose hands have been in the most unusual places could have done it. So thank you. Now, as I continue, I don't want, Sean, you sick bastard, I don't want you to get titillated. Calm down, boy. Okay. We're going to talk about toilets. I brought one in. Fresh. This is the toilet. This is what I call the feng shui position of toilets. This is when the lid is down and none of the bad energy's getting out. Now, if you need to sit, you lift it up. You put your buttocks, right? Hey, you can go one or two in here, but only if you're sitting. This is what I call the friend's position. You notice how it widens out down here? There's a lot more room. So whether you're standing and peeing, you're straddling, don't get anything on this particular area right here. And if you can't bear the thought of putting your hand on this toilet to lift it, at least do us all a favor and stop hydrating. Because the only thing worse than seeing yellow pee on a toilet lid is sitting on clear pee on a toilet lid. That's it for today.
Thank you for your report, Bill.
Lots of informative information, Chip Zorn. Gotta turn it back over to you.
Don't you know it? The ice shooting up reporter Bill Allen was a tough act to follow. Thanks for being in the studio live, Bill. To wrap up this evening and to help with those nerves at ease for those returning to the office, we're going to take a look at fashion. We want to make sure you don't look like a runaway and are runway ready. As we move away from the pandemic, leisure wear, loungewear days, now's your opportunity to spruce up your wardrobe as you go from bedroom to boardroom. Now, for those hesitant to move away from the styles circa 2020 and 2022, be warned, the fashion police will be handing out citations, and those citations will be payable to the United Way community charity cause of your choice. Here to share some trends on the way out is our very own Sally McKenzie.
Those were amazing. Give yourselves all your hand. Give your coworkers a hand. In the beginning of all this, I was worried about making a penis joke, but I'm not worried now. I was like, man, should I do this? I'm gonna get in trouble for this one. Well, if HR can do it, we're good to go, right? I have a few things left. We've reached the end. This is crazy. This was so much fun. Thank you so much. I had a lot of fun being here this morning. I don't want to go back to work. So this is the kickoff event. You all have received an email. Again, make your pledge. If you can't give your, financially, you give your time by volunteering and becoming a mental health first aid professional. So that works. 8 hours. That's all it takes, right? 8 hours. Pledge today. Tomorrow, Skit Tuesday, we're going to meet the competition for watch party. You're going to meet, grab some popcorn, gather in the ground floor of the conference room and watch the honorable mentions and vote between the 3 finalists that we just watched. Wednesday is food truck lunch in Burlington and the SNL rerun watch party for everyone, so that's Wednesday. Thursday is the wrap-up cast party back here at Vermont Comedy Club. What? Is that in the daytime? What time is that at? 3 to 5? Oh, what day of the week is that?
Thursday.
The 21st. Yeah, I could be here for that one. And then, so there's going to be, the campaign totals will be announced and raffle prizes given. And then also the QR codes around the room, the links, again, raffle entries, all that stuff, donating forms, and the week schedule. And I'll see you Thursday. You know what? I'm coming back on Thursday. I'll be back on Thursday. Listen, have It was so good to see you. Thank you so much. Have a great day, everyone. Great week.
Hey everybody, just one more thing. I think before we're gonna do a photo, right? So I just want to make sure, and I'll let Linda announce. Is that right? Are we doing a photo after this? Okay. But just real quick, so last year, goal-wise, right? Each year we have a goal that we're working towards. Last year, goal of $165,000. We crushed it. This year, $175,000. Let's do it. And also, I just want to say another thank you to the committee. They make it look so easy. Everything came together so nice. There's a lot of work going back to the spring, like March, April timeframe to make this happen. So give it up, another round of applause for the committee. Linda, what are we doing with the picture? Or who's coordinating the picture?
Clear some tables,
okay.
and we're going to turn the lights up. He's going to put that up, and then everybody's going to gather on the stage.
Excellent. All right.